Hello guys, it's Super GT here and welcome to another Forza 6 demo video. And in this video we are going to be doing the Rivals event in the Corvette around wet Sebring. So I'm going to go through my thoughts on the wet weather physics and the gameplay. So I'm just going to do one lap here and then I'm going to go through the lap after and just analyse a few points. So of course when it's wet you're going to be going a lot, quite a bit slower compared to when it's dry, but the main thing isn't so much the wet, it's the puddles that are really going to throw you off. You'll see a couple of times around the lap there are a few puddles. Most of them I try to avoid, but some of them you do have to go through, and they will severely alter the pitch of your car, so you really do have to be careful with where you're going on that. So my thoughts on the rain will be, because the rain doesn't change, because the puddles, the location of the puddles doesn't change, it will be simply a matter of learning where the puddles are and then adjusting your line accordingly. So you'll see coming around this corner there is a very big puddle which you cannot avoid. It covers the whole track, there we go, and it throws you off to one side. Now there's a few more puddles through the track where you can avoid them, and I've seen a couple of the top times in the world and they do try to avoid them as much as possible just to make sure your car doesn't get thrown away or thrown off onto the side of the track. So when playing online, or I guess in single player as well, I'm assuming the puddles are all going to be in the same kind of places every time. So the puddles you see here I'm assuming will be in the same place when you play the proper game on any with any car, with any class, online or offline. I'm guessing all the puddles will be in the same place, so you can learn where they are, and then from that you can adjust your line to make sure you're taking the best line all the time. So yeah, the puddles really do throw you about, and that's the hardest thing to judge, although you do also have to judge your braking points. You do have to brake a bit earlier, and on the throttle you do have to be a bit more careful because your car will oversteer a lot easier when you press the throttle coming out of the corner. So all in all it feels not too different from the drive, but you just have to be a little bit more careful. We're going to go to the leaderboards here. That was 188th in the world. That wasn't even my best lap. I made quite a few mistakes there, and I reckon I could go quicker than that. So that's quite a decent lap so far. So I'm going to go through a few points. So we go back to the start here. So this is coming around the first corner. You can see here all the puddles, and a lot of the curbs have puddles on them. So the one on the right there, you want to avoid that. You don't really want to go all the way out to the outside there. So curbs like that, you just want to avoid them completely. And if we fast forward a little bit around here, so you can see there the curbs gather water essentially. So you don't really want to go through these curbs if you can help it. So going into the hairpin, you just want to brake a little bit earlier than normal. I'd say about 10 to 20% earlier than normal. It's hard to say exactly where you need to brake, but just earlier. And for this one, so the puddle covers the entire track there, so you can't avoid it, so you have to go through it. So I would suggest getting over to the far right hand side on entry, and then this gives you a better angle, and then you can attack the curb, which gives you the best angle on the exit. So it's going to throw you out wide here, as you can see. So by taking that line you're going to be able to take that flat out. And as we go nearer the end of the track, so this section is actually very similar to the dry line. So when it's dry, actually you're going to take this line near enough, but of course you're just going to be a bit more careful because it's wet. There's a puddle in that curb, so you need to be a little bit careful there. You can drive round that one, as I've seen some people do. And on the exit there, that curb has some puddles on it too. So you just want to be very, very careful around the curbs, because that's where some of the puddles are, and they're hidden sometimes, and you can't always see them. And this corner is very tricky. It's hard to brake and get inside early, so if you do what I did there, brake quite late, go wide and then cut in for a good exit, you can take a straighter exit, which means you can get more power on the exit, and that's one good way of taking a wet line. So there's my lap, 2 minute 29.9. So there's a few basic pointers to begin with regards to the wet weather. Of course, when the proper game comes out, I'll be able to go in more in depth on that. But yeah, for now, that's just a couple of tips on the wet weather and my thoughts on the physics. So I hope you have enjoyed the video, guys, and I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.